able to say to my boss that I don't have to come back to work next year. So I get to work from home, and I get to be with my daughter, who's 16 months. I get to be with her. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And something that's been really working well is really holding hands with Dawn and Allison, and diving in, making those phone calls rather than texts. That's been a huge one. And just revisiting some of those maybes of possible clients, and turning those friends into clients, and having a good attitude, I think, has been huge. It's something that's changed a lot for me. So, a lot of negative thoughts can creep in come the end of the month. You might be a little bit worried you're not going to reach your goal. And I just learned that being authentic and being yourself, and remembering that you are the CEO of your business, and just owning that. So that's been big for me.
That's awesome, Kaylee. Congratulations, girl. I mean, no wonder. That consistency, that passion, that excitement. Well done. You can tell it's definitely success leaves clues, right?
What's that?
Success leaves clues. So you're being consistent, you're reaching out, you're making those personal connections, and congrats, because next year's going to look a whole lot different. You get to
I'm so pumped. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. So thank you for all your support. So
yeah, thanks for sharing, Kaylee.
Yeah, you bet.
Anyone, we got what, right? You want to do one more?
One more.
One more? All right, we'll do one more. Wave your hands if you're excited to share.
Or just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, because I can't see everyone.
Hey, Jan's just typed everything in the chat, so let's just have you share, Jan. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Dude, I have wet hair.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we're all here this morning. Hey, we know what the deal is. No judgment here.
No judgment at all.
Okay. I was just saying that, it started with my son, who lost 111 pounds, and I've lost over 135. So it's the only thing that's ever really worked for me. And then on top of that, I've been able to some of my clients who trusted me and got on program, to be able to see what it's doing in their lives and changing them. That's been amazing. And then financially, as a single mom, I've had some house repairs that have gotten long undone. So I've been able to start doing some of those and help some people that have needed it. So.
That's incredible, Jan. Thank you for sharing. You guys, so we could have an entire call where we just shared celebrations, right?
And Dawn, we could, and I love that that's where we start off with that. And Jan, I could hear your emotion, because I know a little bit more about what's going on in the background behind that. Congratulations on all your help, and congrats on being consistent, and congrats on your heart. That was one of the big things that you chose to do this, and that is what we get to give to people, is we give them health, and we give them options, and we give them abundance. So thank you, Jan, for sharing. Wet hair and all. We all get it. This is coffee and consistency. We're getting after it today. So, Dawn, we can go all day on this, but let's hop in today, because it is the end of the month. This is a really good, important call. So let's jump in after it.
It is. Let me get my screen shared here. All right, here we go. All right, you guys. Yeah, we are going to dive right in, because today's going to be really about finishing the month strong. We've been building on it for the past 4 weeks. So, sometimes we go over last week's action steps and things like that. We are going to breeze past that and really get into the meat of what we're doing today. And we are going to really be kicking this off. And there are 5 days left in the month. And I don't know about you guys, but some of you guys have been around for a while and who just rock this. You can do so much in 5 days. It's an amazing amount of time. So we're really going to jump in and really show you some nuances of how the pros are finishing the month strong, how they're looking at it, how they're getting into action. We're going to touch a little bit on long-term, really value-added client support. We've got some awesome speakers who are going to share today. Lindsay's going to come off and share a little bit about that. We're just going to kind of dive in. So, really last week we talked about thinking like a CEO. Tim and Kelly rocked client support and all those things. And Allison touched on referrals and following up. We are really, really, really going to dive into what to do right now with some tangible tips. So I hope y'all are excited and have pen and paper and are ready to rock. Brad, anything you wanted to add there before we just jump in?
No, very little. Basically, I just want to say congrats. I know it's a holiday weekend. I know it's our 4th week. We are almost at our normal capacity for people that are on the call. Congratulations on being consistent. Like, that is the difference maker, being plugged in, doing the steps. So congratulations. I see people in the car right now doing their stuff. So that's fantastic. And just like we're 5 days early, so more things are about to take place. But like, I just want to congratulate Dan and Jill, 3rd month, fully qualified, full integrated regional directors. Tracy Akamine, I think I said your last name correctly, so forgive me if I did it. You're actually just $2 away, I think, from ED your first time. So congratulations on that. So it's basically official. Just hasn't, the 5th smiley face hasn't popped up. And actually today we have over 20, I think it's 20 new senior coaches from all the people that are brand new. So again, if you're a new coach here today, we have some great content for you, but this is really going to be more on the basically like coaches that have been at senior coach and above for a little bit here. So just hang with us if we cover stuff that's a little bit more in depth. But, what was really cool about that is that a lot of those new senior coaches have already moved forward to manager and associate director this month. So congratulations to everyone. That's pretty much what I got. Dawn, hit us with some quality client support stuff, and then let's get into the stuff that's really important, which is finishing the month strong.
Yes. And I want to do a little disclaimer. If you are a brand new coach and you're so excited that you made it onto this call, hang with us. You're going to have some fun today. But remember, your first steps are connecting with your mentor and getting some of those first share calls done and really starting there. So there may be some stuff today that like blows your mind, and that's all good. But just hang with us as we really rock it. So yes, we are going to be talking about starting and supporting your clients really well. So all the way into their first month, after their first month, and building that strong relationship, because the people that become amazing integrated clients, well, you all know, we all were there, we become great coaches. So I would love to bring Lindsay on to share about that. Brad, you want to introduce Lindsay?
Yeah, I'll bring Lindsay on. And actually, so just kind of a recap here is, the action steps last week were to continue your conversations, to watch the night before video. It was basically just to kind of catch up on some of those things. So if you guys didn't do that, that's where we were at on that. And last week, and all the weeks before, long-term really good client support and connections and building strong relationships and coaching our full program starts way before you start them as a client. So that's what we built up to today. And last week, Tim and Kelly really hit very well how to start a client strong in their first month. And I wanted to bring on Lindsay because, one, she does the do. She's a bride-to-be, and she's getting yoga certified right now. Her wedding's in, 26 days, Lindsay, I think? 24
21.
21 days. 21 days. All right. But you also, you run a great frontline volume. You're working with a great team. You do this part really well. And also, I don't want to give away your story, but there was a time where you didn't feel like you did the long-term client support really well. And it kind of all shifted for many reasons, but I remember at one point was a conversation you had with Ashley when you came and visited us here. So teach us, Lindsay, your keys, because you know what? The success I can tell is in your numbers. You have good frontline volume, well over 10,000 every single month. So teach us your ways of coaching clients after their first month.
Of course. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Dawn. I'm really excited to share on this. Everything Tim and Kelly talked about last week about getting clients set up in their first week and getting them into a strong fat burn. That stuff is really important to set your clients up well. But the first thing is staying really consistent. I always call my clients every single week, regardless if they answer or not. I am calling my clients. If I leave them a voicemail for 3 weeks in a row, I'm sending them a text message to follow up. But even if they're not answering me, I am still staying very consistent with them. So that's the first thing, is you want to be that consistency in their life. The second thing is, Brad, can you pull up those 4 questions by chance? So there is 4 questions that we go into every week when we have our client celebration calls that we want to ask our clients. But I just want to give a little disclaimer. I don't keep these questions in front of me and use them as a script, because then it becomes very clinical. But I do use these as a reference. I'm familiar with these questions. And if you're newer, just use them as a reference. And my goal at the end of a conversation is to just make sure I can go back and I can answer all those questions after a conversation. So use these as a reference. Don't use them as a script, because we want to have, organic, authentic conversations with our clients. So this is just a really good format to kind of follow and just make sure we're getting all the answers that we need to help support our clients. The next thing I want to talk about is integrating your clients. So most of our clients, they utilize 2 of our 4 components, the coach and the fuelings. We all know that we are so much more than the coach and the fuelings. We have a community, we have an amazing habits of health system. So leading clients back to those 2 things is going to really help to set them up for a long-term success. Assist them in getting in the habits of health call, or send them recordings based on your conversations. If you hear something about somebody struggling with emotional eating, there's a really great recording about that. So I'm always trying to pull them back into our other 4 components. Also trying to lead clients back to our client support pages. That's part of our community. So every time they want a recipe, I don't just send it to them, via text message. I'll go into our client support page and I'll tag them in it and hopefully create some conversation. Or if they want a celebration, I ask if they would love to celebrate themselves in our page. So just really trying to get them involved in all 4 of our components. Just like Callie said at the beginning, building authentic relationships, that is so important. Knowing your clients, where they're at in their personal lives, that just shows that we aren't coaching a diet. We aren't diet coaches. Because on the other end of that Be Slim, those are actually human beings. So making sure that you're getting involved in those authentic relationships. Next is weigh-ins. I almost never ask my clients about weigh-ins, because that number on the scale becomes too much about what their journey is. So let's be honest, the scale at some point in all of our journeys has gone up. And that's not a measure of progress. So I never have weigh-in days. I just do celebration calls. If they choose to weigh in, that's fine. I'm obviously not going to deter them from doing that, but I don't ever ask for it. Okay, this is a big one. Refocusing clients. So how many of you have had clients who are 100% perfect on their plan until they reach optimal weight? They never, ever get off track. Probably no one, right? So we cannot want our clients' goals more than they want them. I had a client lose 80 pounds, and I knew that she had another 50 or so to go. And when she told me that she was just wanting to maintain, my first thought was, well, I need to defend her goal for her. I need to defend this. And yes, that's true. But then I stopped and I said, are you happy? And she said, yeah. She made the decision to maintain for the summer, and she knew that she wanted to pick back up in September. So we talked still every week and made sure she was maintaining. And then she got right back to her 5 and 1 and lost the rest of her weight. So of course, this doesn't happen to everyone, but I just want to say that our clients' goals are just that. They're their goals. So just making sure that we're meeting them where they're at, and just being there for them with whatever they want. And don't be scared to have those conversations with your clients about their healthy journey. Those conversations about like, yes, I've lost 6 pounds, or my clothes are fitting better, but those tough questions, those uncomfortable ones, when they're hitting plateaus and they want to give up, or they feel like the program is too expensive, or whatever it is. Because in the beginning, we made a promise to our clients that initial phone call we gave to them, that we would be their partners. So take a second and think about, are you being a partner to your clients, and asking those really tough questions? Because I get uncomfortable with those too, but it is really important. And I do want to make a disclaimer. Not all of my clients are integrated. I have clients fall off all the time. I have clients that don't return my phone calls. But I try to figure that out with them. And then I don't obsess over that one person that got away. Because while I'm wasting time obsessing over that one person, I'm missing out on a lot of opportunity to help other people that truly want to change their life. So on the reverse side of this, if you're having clients drop off often every month, have a conversation with your business coach and see maybe where these tweaks in your structure, they can help you with that, and making sure that your clients do become more integrated. And we are focused on the long-term journey of this. Okay, that's all I have. I'll stop talking now.
It's like, I think everyone's like, Lindsay, keep talking. Lindsay, that was so good. So perfect in so many ways. And if I could just kind of try to bullet point some of the things that you said, because it was so good. Like, in the first month, you're building that relationship with them. And like Tim and Kelly talked about last time, is you're giving options for optimal health. And that will save your butt in the later end when they do lose focus, because they know that you're there to partner with them. And if you've proven that, if you remain consistent, you have that stake in their life to say that. And it really becomes that sweet spot. Like, it's not awkward, hard questions, but like sometimes you're going to like support them where they're at, let them know that you care about them most of all and their goals. And that makes them value you. And then they know that they can call you because you're not going to beat them up. And sometimes you do, like you and I were having a conversation. Sometimes eventually, if they've been in an oscillating cycle for a while, but you've been loving on them, then sometimes you can go back in, like you talked about the refocus. I mean, there were so many things that was good here. I'm guessing a lot of people will go back and rewatch your section there because that was so spot on. So thank you, Lindsay. That was so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is that? Go ahead, Don.
Nothing. Just wow. The chat's blowing up.
Yeah, it was so good. What I want to do right now is just to piggyback another person's voice on this topic. There were so many people I actually wanted to call, and Lindsay was in particular because of just also the massive shift. Because I think we've all felt at one point like, oh, I don't know if I'm really good at this, and she desired to make a shift, and she did. She was already good at it before. She took it to the next level, and then there were so many people I wanted to call on right here, but honestly, the numbers speak for themselves. And Don and Brian consistently run the highest frontline volume in our entire business. And so what that means is that she's really good at this art form right here. So Don, would you give some, like maybe some additional things or just another voice on the same thing about how you help people long-term and how you kind of approach that? Like just some of your tips right there. Sometimes people fall off program or sometimes you refocus with them. How do you, like, I guess the question for me, and this is what I wanted to learn early on is, Don, how do you support clients? Because they're not all the same. And some people like lose track or they're not all compliant. What do you do so you don't just lose clients or you get into that weird phase of just asking how much weight they're losing?
Right. And, Lindsay, every single thing you touched on was gold. And, having done this for almost 8 years now, we will have clients that, of course, their journey takes them in all different directions, right? It is not always, a straight line. Like they might think it should be. So I love that you take it back to being their partner from the beginning. And that is exactly what I do. Because you're right, Brad, we have people that go through seasons in their health. And I used to be really militant. Okay. I have a nursing background. And I mean, when I walked into a room and said, hey, we're going to do this, the patient usually did it. And so this is a little different than that. We're partnering with people in their health. And I used to get really awkward in my own head. Like, how do I coach someone who's not on the 5-in-1? Like, what do we talk about each week? I don't even know if you've ever been there, but I was there in the beginning and I wondered, like, how do I support people? I'm not sure where they're at or what they're doing, or I'm not sure what their structure is. So Lindsay, thank you for sharing how you take it back to that conversation in your brain and in your head of you're a partner, and you ask yourself, am I being a partner with this person? Because you guys, we have so many tools. And Brad, honestly, what I do is each and every person has that very next step that's right for them in their health. So I think about that. Every person that I'm calling, and what maybe they haven't answered my phone call for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 3 months or 4 months, but I am consistent in having those scheduled times where I reach out to all my past clients. And whether it be a little text message or a phone call, just saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. It might be the right time to connect and maybe refocus. I don't know where your goals are, but I know summer's coming up. I am really, just to tie it into right now, is we've got a great focus group kicking off next week. This is something that I am pouring some time into over this weekend, and Monday and Tuesday of next week is really reaching out to those people who maybe I haven't heard from in a long time, because they matter. And I made a decision and I made a promise to them to walk alongside them on their journey. It may have been a long time since they've, we've actually connected. So reaching out, seeing if they're ready to refocus, like you said, Lindsay, and then setting them up in some sort of structure, because we have so many options. We've got, we have the 5-in-1 plan if weight loss is their goal and they really want to have that high energy and low hunger, but we've got the 4-in-2 plan if maybe their season is to really hit the gym and exercise and start still have consistency in their structure.
Get your brownie.
Hang on just a second. And then the other thing, thanks, Brad, got my back. And the other thing is there's the 3-in-3 plan, but there's always a structure that they can be in. So we can assist them. What's that next step that's right for them? And what's that structure that's right for them, so that they always feel supported. And that's really where I've seen some amazing growth come. I've seen relationships be built that are really strong because they know that we're always moving them forward. So I don't know if that helps anyone out there, but I used to get into that awkward, oh, I'm not sure. Like, are they in fat burn? Are they not? Just ask them some of those questions. Like Lindsay, you said, don't be afraid to ask them those questions that are far below the surface of, how was your program last week? How are you feeling? Are you happy? Huge. Boom. Lindsay, blew some minds there. Anyways, Brad, and I know you do this really well too. So anything you want to add there, that's just some things that I have seen really help over the last few years.
You and Lindsay really nailed it. I want to go into all the things, but I guess just what I would say in short is when you really set up it on the front end that this is about optimal health and your posture proves that and you're building the relationship, you won't lose clients because they trust you. Yes, Lindsay, you're right. We all lose clients, but instead of becoming like 1 out of 4, it becomes like 1 out of 20 that end up being like this because you set the posture on it. Like I can't tell you how many people during the last little bit, like they moved into like a 4 and 2, or just like remembering to eat their meals was their victory. And I don't lose clients because like I literally have a couple of clients, or there's one particular that I call her every week to tell her that, hey, don't beat yourself up. Like be proud of what you did this week. She's a mom of 4 and she literally like beats herself up that she's not perfect. And I'm like, hey, you ate your meals. You probably made it to the gym. You drank your water. That was better than your best day before. I'm proud of yourself. Like that's my combo with some people. Like, so I think those are some great examples. Lindsay, Dawn, you nailed it. So I say we move into like where the pros do this month and take some massive action right now, Dawn. I think they're ready.
All right. You guys ready? Let me get the slide up here. Okay.
Oh, actually, real quick, just because there's a couple good questions in the chat, let's answer these real quick. What do you do if they are just overwhelmed with life and they just can't do this right now? I think I would go back and exactly what I said right there. That happens to a lot of people. And if you've set it up well on the front end, well, I know that this is your goal. You know what? Like, let's change it. Like, this is about making your life and health simple. Let's not, like, if 5 and 1 or weight loss or being too over focused is too much for you right now, what if we just focus on mini wins? By the way, real quick, I think there's someone unmuted.
I think the cat unmuted
There you go. Got it. All right. Sorry. So to them, what I would say is I give them some options. Like, what would you like to do? Like, let that conversation right there. What do you think? You've got the answers. Like, you're like, I got some ideas, but what works for you? You know, we don't want to go backwards. We know our program's not about just weight loss and dieting. And so, like, I've had some clients do this before in the past, or people that I've worked with. What would you like to do? And then brainstorm with them a little bit. And this is Ashley Miller's like greatest trick is sometimes when you give them the option and they just get to talk it out for like 5 minutes and they're like, oh, it's just so simple to do 5 and 1. Why would I just not do 5 and 1? So that one's right there. That's a good one. And then I think, let's see here. Julie, you asked about like if people don't answer their phones. Like, you know, sometimes it's like one, I don't assume they're not doing bad. Some people just aren't phone talkers, you know? So I always follow up my messages with like, hey, I'd love to hear from you. I always send a follow-up text, afterwards. Like sometimes you just don't hear from people. Some people are just antisocial. And if I awkwardly don't hear back for a long time, and then if I see if their order kind of matches like someone who's not doing program at all, I would probably like, hey, I haven't heard from you the last little bit. Love to support you. But, you know, I just don't want to I want to make sure I'm just like not bothering you. So in case you need anything, I'm always here for you. Let me know if I can be back, and that I'll kind of like adjust my amount of reaching out to them. That would be my thought, because I've had people be like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. Like, don't take any offense to what I've been mean. Thank you for the text. You don't know how much they mean. And then sometimes you just don't hear back at all. So that's what I would say. And like Lindsay said, focus on the people that want it. Do not be distracted by the people that like the few people that aren't ready yet, because your ability to move on, but let them know that you're there for them whenever, will make them reach out to you when they're ready to go.
I love it.
Yeah.
Boom, Brad. That's awesome. Great questions, by the way. And you know what? Just as it's coaching people, coaching clients, coaching our friends in health, and it parallels our business in so many ways, because has anyone out there ever been so overwhelmed they weren't sure what to do or where to go next? Right? It happens. So when sometimes people just need us to take a deep breath with them, grab their hands, look in their eyes and be like, hey, remember, optimal health is about being mindful, eating every 2 to 3 hours, drinking water, and reaching out for support. Helping people is about being mindful, getting into action, remembering that it's about helping people create health, and just taking that next step. Like grab their hands, take a deep breath. So Brad, I love that. We're going to shift into finishing the month like a pro, like, okay, because it literally is an awesome, really special time of the month right now. And like I said, our health journeys and how we coach our clients and our friends in their optimal, in their plans, it parallels our businesses in so many ways. And, I love what Brad put on here, just like the key to truly changing lives and success in coaching is to remain consistent enough to follow up and to follow through with the seeds that you've planted so that you can see them blossom. Far too many people throw seeds out and they land on the sidewalk or in the parking lot, and some get into the flower bed, and then they kind of spray some water and walk away and are like, oh, I don't really know where those are. So it's about just having that, kind of taking it back to the consistency and caring enough to see where each one is planted. And at the end of the month, not adjusting our goals, not saying, oh, well, I guess that's not going to happen, but really inspecting where we're at and increasing our actions and knowing what our options for actions are. So I love what everyone shared so far. And it is just absolutely 100% about mindfulness and consistency and reaching out. So we're going to do some stuff right now. All right. So we're going to be talking about finishing the month like a pro and massive action, and how to use the focus group that we have going on right now to tie into that and be a reason. We always have a reason to reach out. We just have a really special reason right now to reach out. And like Lindsay said, maybe offer some of those people a chance to refocus and re-engage. So number one, know where you're at and know where your team is at. So right now, do you know where your frontline volume is? Right, go ahead, go check. Not that I want anyone to get stuck in their back office, but go right now and check where your frontline volume is.
Like really, go check right now.
Like really do it.
Right now.
And write it down. And then like people who are really rocking this time of the month and who are really have their CEO hats on, they know where they're at. So you'll know where you're at with your frontline volume, and then you'll know where your team's at too, because that matters. And so go ahead, go check, and then you'll check for your team later, and then know what your options are for action. Okay, there are so many things that we can do, and we're going to actually give you some tangible examples of what options are for action. And then know what you're excited to do and what you're willing to do, and then go do it. So you've got your map in front of you. Okay, what did you write down at the beginning of the month at the very top, left? I know my right in the left-hand corner. What did you write down there? What does it say? Read it to yourself right now, and then look at where you're at, where your frontline volume is right now. And look at, on the next slide, I'm going to show you, know that you've got B-Slims probably set to process. Know what they are. Go figure that out. How many are there? And know that you are probably just a few lives from being changed from actually reaching your goals. Or you know what? Probably blowing right past them. So now that you've gone into your back office and you've checked your frontline volume and you know where you're at, go ahead and check how many B-Slims you've got set to process. And then you take that, you multiply by 300, and that's where you're actually set to be at the end of the month. If you want a little help doing that, reach out to your mentor. They can help you. It's really simple. And then know what you're excited about and keep that front and center. So
let's give people some example of that, because we have a lot of new coaches and I don't want them to miss that. So again, like we weren't joking, like literally go write down what your frontline volume is right now. It's at the top right-hand corner of your back office. Like to give you an example, mine currently is 9,500. We're at 9,500, so 9,500 in frontline volume. We have 10 B-Slims with legitimate rewards at the process, and I multiply that generically by 300. So it looks like we are set to be, when we have some clients to get started, so my projection is going to match my goal. So right now it looks like we will hit, we have about 4 clients to start. My goal was to continue to run 14,000 frontline volume by the end of the month. I know with the 4 clients I plan on starting, and I know who they are. I know 2 of them that are already planning on starting. I know with my B-Slims, and it's underestimated. With what I have right now, I know I will reach my 14,000 frontline volume market, and that's my goal.
I love that, Brad. I love that. Just went over with with a newer coach yesterday. She is at, I think it was 3,200 frontline volume. She has 3 set to process. Her goal is ED. So, but guess where that puts her? She's literally four people's lives being changed from hitting her goal. And when she looked at it in the back office, she was looking at it like, oh my gosh, I'm so far away. But actually, oh my God, once we went in and we looked at what she had set to process and the people on her list who are about to get healthy, who she's excited to follow up with, who she's in conversation about the focus group, you know what? She is so close. She's probably going to go over that goal. So it is all perspective. It is all perception and knowing where you're at and knowing, again, what you're excited about doing and what you're willing to do. So I love it.
Let's see where people do it, because a lot of people will be like, oh, I'll do that later, but it really is that simple. So type a 1 in the chat if you just figured out or already knew where you're projecting for by the end of the month.
Oh, love it. Look at the chat. Blow it up. Okay. All right.
Very nice.
Awesome. All right. Now we are going to probably pull you back out of your back office because you can go check your team later. But that is something like.
Hey, Dawn, can we go back to that one last slide for one more second that I want to show people? And this is really more for the new coaches. And we didn't want to spend a lot of time, so we didn't really create slides on it. But just the example you just said is most people just don't know how close they are. We have new EDs pop all the time. Tracy, new executive director. You're not the only one that's going to happen this month. And most people don't see how close they are with this. So just a couple different things is one, building 1 to 2 points each month is the difference of someone who builds a big business over time. And some of the speakers we're going to have talk. I mean, you guys are all incredible. And the people that do it, I mean, they're pretty amazing. But anyone can be as amazing as Lindsay, as Dawn, as Amber, who's about to speak, as Cindy, as all the speakers that have spoke on this. So it's just a difference of focusing on those things. There's so many of you that are like associate director right now. And between B-Slims, you're just 4 clients away from reaching executive director. And then not just executive director, but then building upon that. Most people just don't see how close they are. They just get to the end of the month and start frantically working. And they don't see that, like, if they just worked at it right now, that's the difference. So you guys are many of you are 3 possibly clients away from hitting your next rank or executive director. And by the way, if you know the comp plan, you know that it doubles. If you're kind of hanging out at an associate director, you know that your income basically doubles just by helping like 3 or 4 more clients. So it goes from like $1,000 to making like $2,000 and then some more. And then there's also bonuses that go there. So just wanted to hit on that. So key. And what's cool about running it all, like being a really good health coach, is that makes you hyper-focused on helping the people who are next in front of you. It's a good thing to know all that stuff. So Dawn, thank you for that review. I'm sure it was so helpful for a lot of people.
Awesome. Brad, thank you for coming in with those like gold nuggets right there, because that is so true. We just don't realize sometimes how close we actually are, and then keeping those people right in front of us. So who is it that you're excited to reach out to? Who are those next 3 or 4 people who you're going to touch base with? That's awesome. And if you're manager or associate director, absolutely that next rank or 2 ED is totally within grasp this month. So I love it. Thanks, Brad. How about some actual tips? Do you guys like some actual tips on how to really get out there and reach out and actually make that happen this month?
Yeah, let's hit on this real quick, because Dan Valentine made a video a long time ago that was about massive action. Like it was about like helping a lot of people, reaching a lot of people at the end of the month, like massive action. All the things that we covered right now are like even more detailed of what he went over because of what you can do right now. So Dawn, like we have a lot of people that have been consistent, they've been planting seeds. Give us the massive action magic right now. Please, like, just lay it on us.
All right. I love it. Well, you know what? Using your tools. So you've got your map, use your 100 list, reach out, follow up, and then continue those conversations. If you have watched that 30-minute video of Dan Valentine's massive action, awesome. You've heard this before. And if you haven't, it's okay. It's out there. We'll put it up for you. But really, it's simple. Use your tools, reach out, continue the conversations, use social media, post several times a day. Okay, don't be weird. Don't post like 20 before and after pictures in a row, but like be out there and in front of people. hopefully we're going to show some actual examples. Cindy and Amber, who are rocking this and rock the end of the month, they're going to share some things that they're doing. But post out there, do people know that there's a 30-day focus group kicking off? Do people know what you do? Is it clear? Are you on Facebook and Instagram? But just really be out there, add value, and know that, yeah, we're headed into a holiday weekend, but that's a time when some people, you know, they have a little more time to like check their phones, or they're a little more plugged in. So just know that only 10% of your friends see any given post at any given time. So get out there and be there more often during the day. Encourage your clients to share publicly. Oh my gosh, not only is that huge success for them, it makes them feel so awesome, but it literally brings the people in their world who are supporting them to the surface, and they will comment and cheer them on. So that is huge. Invite them or encourage them to invite their friends and family to the focus group. Brad, you said you spent some time doing that yesterday, and you have a list, like front and back piece of paper, of you've been inviting people to invite their friends and family to the focus group, right? And they're reaching out, and you've got tons of people doing that. There's just a lot of energy, and it's an exciting time to do that. So follow up thoroughly, follow up from our call on Thursday. We've got that recording out. I've been getting lots of awesome feedback from clients who either caught it live or they've asked me for the recording. So I sent that recording out to everybody that I'd invited. And then I'm checking back with them Sunday and Monday just to see, you know, did they catch the prep call? Did they catch the overview call? Are they excited? What are their goals? I can't wait to hear what their goals are, what they want to do over the next 30 days. So then really just checking in and continuing to encourage people who are, because next week is really, it's like go time. And this is a really, really, really important time. I actually had a coach say, gosh, it doesn't start till June 5th. I'm not really sure if that's going to help me much now. Oh my gosh, now is the time to be reaching out and inviting people. Yeah, it kicks off June 5th, but we're going to be like prepping and helping figure out what people's goals are. I had 3 people place full orders because they're that excited. I mean, just in the last couple of days, because they're that excited to get the ball rolling even before the focus group kicks off. And you know, the last key is follow up. Like, don't forget to just reach back out and touch base with those people. Brad, anything I missed there? I'm a little pumped up about this, guys. Can you tell?
If people could pay attention to this and just realize like the little pieces there, like you just gave them like tons of gold on how to follow up. I could share some things, but honestly, let's bring on Amber and Cindy, because they're like, they can give some energy because they're doing this stuff.
Let's do it. Amber, you're on my screen. You are rocking and rolling. If I could brag on you for just a little bit, you are wrapping up your 5th month fully solid executive director. And I mean, you know what? Things have shifted over the last few months. Like, you're a busy mama. You just bought a house and moved last month. And not only are you solid, you have coaches coming on board, and you're like probably going to hit like almost 8,000 frontline volume this month, girl. Give us some of your tips on like, what does that look like?
Good morning. Well, thanks for having me speak on the call, Dawn and Brad. I'm so excited to be here. So yeah, Dawn, you just gave some great examples of things to do. And the first thing I wanted to say about how to wrap up your month and just actually how to approach your month in general is, you know, Dawn mentioned I bought a house at the end of March. My husband and I bought our first home. We moved last month. We've been very busy. We have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I stay at home with them, and my husband works out of the home during the day. And so all that being said, you know, I used to find a lot of time for excuses as to why I couldn't get into action instead of just getting into action. So my first tip for you guys is really, like, life happens. We all know that. So it's Memorial Day weekend. We drove from Idaho, where we live, to visit my parents 6 hours away. We made the drive yesterday. And I could have used that trip as an excuse, or just the fact that I'm with family this weekend, as an excuse to not finish the month strong. But instead, I'm taking full advantage of jumping on this call because I have somebody to watch my kids, so I can do it without distractions, right? So, like, that's thing number 1. So good job being on the call, but, you know, because life is, you never always know what time it will be. But I know that when that nap happens, I sit my daughter down, I give her an activity to do, and that's when I make things work for me. So just some actual action steps that you can take. First thing is, yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. So if you do not have plans to get out and go somewhere, find something to do this weekend, whether it's with friends, family, strangers, I don't care. Get outside, go do something. The weather's beautiful everywhere, and it's an awesome opportunity to meet people or spend time around people that you already know. So build some real friendships and start with that. Second thing is we have this incredible focus group that's getting ready to start, and I've had some just really fun things happening around that. So I'm not saying these are the things that you need to do, but this is what works for me. So what I do every week is I make a short support video for my clients. So this week's video, and I don't overthink it, you guys. I do one take. If it's not perfect, they get the real me. So what? Okay, so this week's video, I asked my clients to take out a piece of paper and write down the 5 people in their life that are their closest friends. And then I asked them to think about, what are those people like? What activities do they like? Where do they go? What do they eat? What do they do? And if we can share the video in the group if we haven't already. But anyway, you can see it. And then, so I had them write all that down. And then what I wrapped it around to in a 1.5 to 2-minute video was, hey, guess what? You know what? Most of us don't have a lot of healthy people in our lives, but it's okay because we have this amazing focus group where we can all jump on together and be healthy together. So I invited my clients, right? But then I also asked them to link arms with the people in their world, maybe those 5 people on their list, to come and join the focus group with us so that they can start creating a healthy community around them. So it literally took me 2 minutes. And then when my son woke up from his nap and I've got chaos swirling around me, I can still text message out that video and get some work done. And then a couple days later, right? So I did that on Tuesday. A couple days later, I invited everybody to call. Hey, did you see it? I didn't hear back from you, but we've got the call tonight. It's really incredible. You got to be on. Okay. So I'm spending the weekend doing follow-ups on that. So one little tip I have for you is holidays are a great excuse to get into people's lives. So we talk a lot about not being weird. Well, guess what? It's really not a weird thing to wish someone a happy Memorial Day weekend and ask them if they're doing something fun, right? So get into your text messages or call people, engage with them. I happen to be in my hometown right now, so I'm following up with people I haven't seen in like 15 years. Frankly, I avoided a lot of that in the beginning, right? So like, get out of your own head, get out of your way. But so use this weekend to follow up with people. And so literally what I'm going to be texting out, I want you to know like verbatim what I'm texting out today. Hey, I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Not sure if you saw my invite to our incredible focus group, but after you're done eating your way through the weekend, if you're interested in refocusing on your health, I'm here for you. I did a post yesterday about, hey guys, I don't know if you're planning on going to any barbecues this weekend. And then I said, or 3 in parentheses, right? Because people do barbecues Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, who knows? But anyway, just putting that out there and using this weekend as, instead of using it as an excuse, right? It's a holiday. I can't talk to people on a holiday. No. It's your excuse to get into action. Get into action and start sending some messages. That's all I got for you.
Boom, Amber. I love that. And what I love too, girl, you're just so real. And that's what your clients and your friends and your family love about you. And they get your humor and you know what I mean? So what I love is that you just don't make excuses. And clearly, I mean, you have been reaching out and super consistent and following up. And I know it can be crazy with 2 little bitty kiddos and moving and, going everywhere, but you are just staying in action. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's so tangible and so real. I'm going to bring on Cindy now to share some of her tips because we've been doing some power hours over the last 4 days. Cindy's been on nearly every one of them and has some awesome stuff happening. So Cindy, come on and share some of the gold that you've got from us.
Cool. Thank you. Gosh, I don't know. That's Amber's hard to follow, but you know what? I am so excited these days because because I am trying to get live onto trainings, and that the Power Hour has been huge in motivating me to get excited. So one of the number one things I can say is whenever you can wrap your world around getting on a training live, it will motivate you and excite you. You will get nuggets and you will want to do more. Then more, substantial, my map, writing it up. You know what, there's been times where, in the beginning, and it's still evolving. It's like, okay, the map, what is it? Whatever. I didn't quite get it, and I'm getting it more and more all the time. And so I believe what my leaders, my trainers say. They say, use your map and inspect it, know what's going on. And so I'm doing it. And it's really starting to make sense to me. So you have to, these people who build these big businesses know what they're talking about. And so I follow that. And that is, I just keep coming back, and I keep getting more nuggets, and I keep using those nuggets, and I keep just pushing through. And that's huge to me. Using the hundreds list has been really big. Actually, even in this last year, I've become much better at it. And I've been a health coach for going on almost 5 years, for over 4.5 years. So that's been a big deal. And tracking and following up when I reach out to people. So for starters, I'm consistent. The number one word here today, consistency, and I'm intentional. So I go through the month. I intentionally reach out to people. Okay, I'm not being icky. I'm just getting in their world. And I do this ongoing. We're planting seeds all the time. But I keep it going. I amp it up a little bit at the end of the month. But what I do is I will intentionally be in their world and immediately post something that might interest that person, usually a before and after, if I feel like it's someone that I've really been, reaching out to and communicating with, and they're on my heart and I really want to help them. And I will tell you, there are many times that person reaches back and they become a client. So be intentional about your posting, be intentional about your reaching out, be intentional about your follow-ups, and do it and keep track of it. That has been huge, keeping track of what I'm doing. Openly add value. I add value all the time, whether it's healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, physical health. I don't focus on food. I focus on my quality of life, and I think that is huge to people. But I also focus on life isn't perfect, and the things that I've come through to improve my life, and how I value what I've done in my life as a coach and things like that, for people to see it and then go, oh, and I talk about how just little things have changed for me, and that connects to people in a way that I'm not perfect, and they might want to explore that more. And so those kinds of things, I do that all the time, but maybe I do a little bit more of it mid-month or something like that, so that people are starting to really pay attention. And then following up with them when they're reaching out and they're commenting and things like that. Make time. When people reach out to you, it takes you 2 seconds to shoot them back a quick text that is some kind of a response. Okay, so it can be oh my gosh, I'm right in the middle of something. I would love to talk. Do you have time to chat in 30 minutes? I will have time. Or do you have time to chat at 2:00 or whatever? And if you don't have time, if you do have time, what are you looking for? Are you looking for you? Are you looking, for someone else? Are you, we've talked about that in the past. What are you excited about, from what you saw? Whatever it is, it's whatever links into the post. I don't make it weird. I make it intentional. Stellar client support. Seriously, my clients are going to refer to me. They're going to be excited like I'm excited, and they're going to see the flow of what I'm doing, pulling them into, posts and pulling them into the support page. They're going to pull their friends in. This focus group has been insane for me, and following up with people like I'm doing that this week. I am so grateful to you guys for timing everything the way that you did, and for putting the week before information Zoom on Thursday night, because that gave us time to reach out to people and invite them. If they couldn't make it, even if they didn't respond to us, like Amber said, follow up and say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw it, blah, 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 blah. Here's the video in case you wanted to do it. And then people following back and saying, yes, I'm interested, let's talk. Now we have time to order their program if they want to start program and be in the focus group full on 100% and be a client. And so that was huge. And the other thing I can say is anything you do that can move your business forward is action. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do something. Just start doing things. And when Amber said that, I totally connected with that, because there's times when I don't feel like it. But if I do something, it usually actually motivates me to do more. So I just do more of it, in the last week, especially with my goal. One more thing. I set a goal for how many clients I'm going to take on that month. And if I have not set my goal, or if I have not reached my goal yet, I'm really goal-oriented. And even if you're not goal-oriented, start becoming goal-oriented, because your brain will follow that goal. It will go for it and it will reach it. Just like we do with people on their health journeys, they have a goal. We keep reminding them of it. Same thing with our businesses. Set your goal higher than you think is possible. And even if you don't make it, you're going to do better than you would have if you set yourself, a goal of 2 new clients this month. Set it for 5. Maybe you'll get 7 or 8. That's it.
That is it. That's everything. Cindy, great stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that. There was so much gold in there. It's obvious to see why your clients love you, why you do so well, and the action tips. So thank you for all the tangible things as you finish up the month. It was so perfect. So it was great to have Amber on, as showing the consistency of how she's growing into the Big Thinkers Club. It's great to see you, like you said, 4.5 years. The consistency, there's a reason for your success. Like, it just continues to grow from what you do daily on average. So congratulations, Cindy. Thank you for that. So Dawn, let's go into wrapping it up and see if we can put some exclamation points on what these people just shared, because we can't do it any better.
Absolutely, Brad. Here was just our last slide for some tangible tips of things Brad and I've done. So Brad, I love the screenshot of you and your video.
Thank you. Thank you for, that's a screenshot of me.
Hey, you picked this one. You put it up here.
I just took a screenshot. I didn't know what it looked like.
Just some examples of things that we've done on social media. I put a little, I don't know, I'm not even sure how I got the little pretty colors on there, but it gave me some options. And so I went with it. But I just put that out on my public Facebook page. I'm putting together a 30-day health accountability focus group. Who'd be interested in having support in June? Guys, almost 50 comments on it. And then I've just been having fun following up and starting conversations from that. And Brad, this was your info about the 30-day focus group, right?
Yeah, I did a similar thing to you. I've also done, individual texts. I talked to my clients. I asked who they wanted to join with them. I've done everything, and I'm still not done yet. We'll basically wrap up with some top things you can do. But I just also put it in our group, and you can just see the overwhelming thing. I tagged all my clients, so I made sure my current clients and, ones that had kind of fallen away saw that information in there. And, you can just see, some of the comments, me, I'm ready, me, I'm ready, me, I'm ready. So I just made a live video in there. That was another way to get people engaged. My current clients, referrals of those clients, and past clients. This is all in my support group. That was one thing. And so I guess what we would wrap up today on, guys, is, as we've covered the last 4 weeks, you guys have been consistent. You guys have been planting seeds. Literally, massive action. So Dawn, do you want to go back 2 slides? That's the one that
went the wrong way.
This is what we would encourage you. What it really boils down to on brass tacks, on what Amber was going over, what Cindy was going over, what Dawn was going over, is go into massive action this next little bit. Plan out. You have 5 full days to obliterate this month. Really, we would encourage you. You have the tools, looking at what you have in front of you to invite people. So what I would say tangibly is decide where you want to be by the end of the month. Hopefully you now know. What I would encourage you to do is you have an entire weekend. Amber, just literally watch what she just said and don't do what she just did. Dawn, back 2 slides if you would. There we go. Perfect. It's you keep changing my slides. So literally, if you're looking for what to do right now, is follow up with all of your potentials. Ask for referrals or who wants to join the group with it. These are some really good point markers. So Amber talked about the holiday weekend. Utilize that. Be following up. You can follow up right now because of the holiday weekend and the call Thursday. On Sunday, we're going to post the first prep week call. That's another call to action. Hey, we started our prep week. Did you want to get started? So Sunday, Monday, invite, re-follow up, because people do the 11th hour. I don't know if you guys know that. People need multiple follow-ups. And if you're my wife, Ashley, you know that I need multiple follow-ups, and I'm going to do it at the last minute. So, and then also last call to action, Monday and Tuesday. For all your pre-clients, hey, did you want to get started? Like if you wanted to join, you're going to want to get started on program. They don't realize that they need to order their program in time for the focus group. So you literally have time for like 6 follow-ups right there, like Amber was talking about, and posting, blowing up social media. If you need any more ideas, watch Dan Valentine's Massive Action Plan. We will post that in there. But I wouldn't even waste time watching it unless you really like want to obliterate. Just get into these action steps, following up with the people and inviting to that. Those are your times. Follow up, follow up, follow up. And yeah, right now, like that's what I would encourage people to do. People, the sun is coming out. People want this. And Dawn, we could go into examples of it, but like you almost hear this sigh of relief as you invite people to this. Past clients, current clients, pre-clients are like, oh, thank God, I've been putting this off for too long. I need to get back into it. So that's what we encourage you. Any last things you want to say here? Because this group doesn't need any more pump up. They're out doing the work, by the way. We're on track. I think we will hit our highest new client total for the entire month, and we have 5 days left. I think this group knows what to do. Anything else you want to add in here as we finish up today?
No, I just think so many golden tips. I guess just if you're scared, get into action. If you're, not sure what to do, get into action. If you are, not feeling like it, get into action. I mean, I loved what Cindy said, sometimes just getting into action, like makes you feel so much better. And it's awesome. And also, not only for you, but encouraging your team and, to come right alongside you, right? It's more fun to do it together.
Yeah, 100%. So everybody, congrats on the great month. Congrats on being consistent. Let's go get after it. Thank you for all the speakers that spoke today, and let's step up our action 5 full days. That's the challenge to the consistency group. You've been consistent. Go get the fruit from the time you've been putting in right now. Congrats, everyone. Thank you, Lindsay and Dawn, for the great tips on client support. I think that also gives us some great things because we know we want to bring value to our clients. That was a breath of fresh air. Thank you all for everything you do. Let's go have a great Memorial Day weekend, and let's go touch and invite a lot of lives. A lot of things are going to change from the action we take this weekend in people's life. Let's go after it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, you guys.